Before I begin talking about the Cisco certification tracks, I want to talk about the benefits of getting Cisco certified. I guess you could call this the why get certified content if you want. And I want to do it for two major reasons. One, I want to talk to the people who are planning to get certified and solidify why this is a great idea. But I especially want to talk to people who are thinking about getting certified. You know, you're kind of the knowledge seekers. Not that that's a bad thing at all. It's great. You know, you're trying to find the best way to configure BGP, and you do some Googling, you find some articles out there, and you go, oh, okay, well, this is it. You know, you're thinking, well, why do I need certification? I can find stuff and figure it out. And I just want to give you the reasons why I think it's super beneficial to do, especially for you, because, well, let me tell you why. First off, with Cisco certifications, you will never reach the end, meaning there will always be something new. There will always be some new concept or area to go into and discover in the Cisco realm. And I can say that statement because I've come from the Microsoft certification realm. I even got completely Novell certified, a CNE back in the NetWare 4 and NetWare 5 days. And when you get certified in MCSE and CNE, I mean, not saying those are bad by any means, they're great. But I can tell you, I just kind of, I don't want to say reach the end, but I reached the end. Meaning I taught Microsoft, I spoke Microsoft, I loved the MCSE, and I did it for many years. And I eventually just got to the end of, okay, there's only so much you can do with user accounts and group policies. And I know many of you are thinking, well, the sky's the limit with group policy. And there's many directions you can go in Microsoft. But let me just try and encompass what I'm saying. I left off in Microsoft with an MCSE in Windows 2000. That was my last MCSE. Recently, I started another business, and I got into Windows 2008 R2, and I thought, oh, this is awesome, and I installed it. I was like, well, it's pretty much the same, you know. Now, I know some of you are like, no, it's not. It's totally different. Well, I'm telling you, I came from MCSE 2000. I thought, okay, there's some really cool features, and I like it, but, you know, it's really just basic Active Directory. You've got users, you've got your local groups, your global groups. I mean, it all just, I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, it's pretty much the same. And for me, that was a great thing because I didn't want to learn a whole bunch of new stuff. But with Cisco, wow, you know, you get to the point where you'll never reach the end. And I will say, without going into programming, it won't take you long. If you heard me talking that I loathe programming. I wish I had this skill, but every time I try to start learning programming, I just hate it. And I despise it even more because that's all I went to college for, a degree in computer science. And I do not want to cross that boundary to get into programming. And oh, Cisco's the way to do it, my friend. You can stay in Cisco, never reach the end without getting into the programming world and having to learn a new language. So the second reason I say Cisco certification is awesome is because everyone wants to be like Cisco. And what I mean by that is all of the network vendors out there know that Cisco is the biggest out there, and they know that most people know if they're going to know a command line language, they're going to know the iOS. So everybody tries to make their software look and feel like Cisco. I can't tell you how many times I've been working at a client site and they're like, oh, can you go configure those devices? I'm not even going to throw vendors out there because it won't take you long to find them. They'll say, oh, well, can you go configure that load balancer? And I say, well, honestly, I have no experience with that brand of load balancer, but let me give it a whirl. I'll just see what I can do. And I get in there and I go, oh, look, it's got user mode and it's got global configure. I'm like, how do they not get sued? You know, it's like I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah, so it's like everybody's I can't believe it's not iOS. So the benefit is if you get Cisco certified, you can start crossing into other vendor lines without ever having to open their certification books because, you know, they just want to be like Cisco. Their operating system is very similar to Cisco. So the third one, Cisco partners are required to employ certified people. Never found this with another vendor to where Cisco says, hey, if you want to get higher discounts on our equipment, if you want to buy stuff at a better deal, hire certified people and we will move you up in partner status, thus translating to large percentages off of Cisco equipment. So you now have companies that literally are saying, hey, CCNA, CCNP required, because they know that they have to have that certified person in order to move up into or keep their, we'll say, gold level status with Cisco and keep their, you know, whatever 30, 40, 50% off discounts that they're getting with Cisco. So it really it becomes a huge benefit to everybody to get certified. Now, fourth on the list, and this is kind of interesting, it is extremely respected. And I find this all over the place I go when people say, oh, and I say, oh, I'm a CCIE. They kind of like, it's like, oh, CCIE. It's got the whispers that go across the cloud. And I mean, when it's funny because when you get your CCIE, you realize of course there's a level of accomplishment. You go, oh, that was great. I feel like I know a lot now. But you also realize just how much you don't know. Look, you see these little icons over there? These are all the CCNA. It's not just the same icon where I said, okay, CCNA, CCNA, CCNA. These are all the types of CCNAs. There's CCNA voice, CCNA network, CCNA wireless, CCNA security. So, I mean, these are all the different kinds of CCNAs. Look down here at the expert level. And I will tell you, the CCIE took me a full year of dedication, of study, of labs and everything to get one CCIE. Routing and switching. And then you look and you go, oh, well, there's actually 4 more. And that, and it's going to continue to grow. And that there's Cisco Certified Architect, which, I mean, if you're an architect, like plants bend down as you walk by. It's just an extremely respected certification where people know this is not something you get overnight. You have to know a lot. And it is a risk factor. When you look at Cisco, there is no other career. Well, I won't say no, but I would say very few careers where with a couple hits of an enter key, you can take an entire organization down. I mean, regardless of how many redundant servers they have, everything rides on the fabric, which is Cisco. And so people, not just because of the knowledge, but just because of the pure risk factor of being Cisco certified and being in that field, people go, wow, that's a real valuable certification to have. Now, second one from the bottom, I love it. Real-world certification exams. It was kind of funny because I got copied a CC carbon copied on an email that a guy emailed another guy who emailed another guy and gave him my email address and I looked at the trail and they said, oh, you got to talk to Jeremy. He got his whole CCNP in a month. And I laughed when I saw that. They said that to be like, wow, look at Jeremy. He's so amazing. I'm telling you, I got my CCNP back in, what was that, 2004, 2005, kind of time frame around there. This was back when there was no simulations. It was no drag and drop. It was all multiple choice questions where literally if you read the book and you remember, oh, an Ethernet cable is 100 meters, just key facts, you're going to pass the certification program. So I would tell you, if you could rewind back to 2004, you could pass the CCNP in a month. You could probably pass it in a couple weeks. It was just that kind of, I mean, every certification was like that. But now let's fast forward to modern day. No way. Even if somebody said, Jeremy, you being a CCIE, could you right now go past the CCNP, blind? I would probably have to say, no. I'd have to sit and I'd have to study, I'd have to review, because those are hard. I mean, they're really hard certification exams, and they're very real world to where it's not like you just have to memorize a gamut of facts. You have to really know how to do this stuff. Isn't that brilliant? To pass the certification exam, you really have to know what you're doing. And that's what I love about Cisco is when you're learning Cisco, you're not just memorizing facts that you'll never use. You're learning how to do it. And by learning how to do it, you learn how to pass the certification exam. So I'm telling you, that's another major benefit of being certified in Cisco. And then finally, real quick, fantastic renewal policy. Cisco, every 3 years your certifications expire, but they don't want you, taking the same exams again and again and again. I mean, they say, well, you can do it and keep your certification. Let's say you have a CCNA. You can take the CCNA every 3 years and stay current, stay certified. But they're saying, why do that? Why not just go pass one CCNP exam and automatically renew everything below it for 3 years? Or let's say you've got a CCNP. Why not just go, start attacking the CC... Oh, sorry. These are CCNP voice security. I was thinking another CCNP. There are multiple CCNPs. Or, go into the, many of the different, why is the word failing me? Sideways fields. The other CCNPs that are out there. And just by completing one exam from those, you automatically renew your current CCNP for 3 years. Or if you pass the CCIE written, you automatically renew everything for 3 years. I mean, it's a very encouraging certification policy where they're saying, don't just stay where you are, keep going, and don't even worry about the other stuff. It'll automatically renew.